Welcome. Today is Sunday, July 26th, 2026. Coming up this hour, Virtual Beings, Briefing 1. Virtual Influencers, AI Companions, and Gaming Avatars Reshape Identity and Ethics. Virtual Beings, Briefing 2. Virtual beings face new rules, smarter tech, and growing marketplaces. Virtual Beings, Briefing 3. Virtual beings reshape entertainment and commerce through lifelike influencers, animated streamers, and synthetic human titles. And finally, world models and Meta-Anduril briefing. AI world models advance as meta races towards superintelligence and top talent shifts. We begin with virtual influencers and avatars in marketing. A research study by Dr. MD Abdul Alim, co-authored with Sarah Quach, Scott Wevan, and Mai Nguyen, examined how consumers respond differently to human versus virtual influencers, finding that brand influencer fit matters for both. But for virtual influencers, it primarily operates by boosting perceived authenticity. The study advises managers to carefully match virtual influencers with brands that align with their image and to invest in building authenticity, as this is a key driver of engagement for AI-generated characters. Separate research published in the Journal of Retailing by Ozan Ozdemir, Faison Karabulat, and Paul R. Messinger from the Alberta School of Business explored how the visual realism of virtual influencers affects consumer behavior. The study found that hyperrealistic virtual influencers are more effective at selling physical goods because consumers subconsciously attribute a sense of touch and taste to them, while for digital products, a cartoonish avatar proves just as persuasive as a photorealistic one. Study covering 703 Chinese users of AI virtual assistants and livestream hosts revealed that users are initially drawn to digital humans by their appearance rather than usefulness. But this surface-level appeal fails to create long-term user retention or loyalty. Researchers describe the dynamic as users treating digital humans as temporary flings, suggesting that only genuine competence and utility will earn a digital human a lasting role. In the realm of content creation tools, the YouTube video, influencer, created with OpenArt for viral videos, signals active creator experimentation with platforms like OpenArt to generate AI influencers for social media engagement. Next, RE companions and virtual characters. Bonza Chat launched a browser-based, customizable AI companion platform for adults, allowing users to create and chat with virtual AI characters featuring distinct personalities, backstories, and appearances for entertainment, creative storytelling, and language practice. The platform emphasizes user privacy and control, positioning itself within the growing AI companion category, while noting it is not a substitute for human relationships or professional mental health support. Character Eye introduced Lawbook, a feature that allows users to give their characters deep, contextual world knowledge. With Lawbook, creators can build entries for locations, items, factions, and side characters that are linked to specific keywords. When those keywords appear in conversation, the character seamlessly weaves that knowledge into its responses, creating more consistent and immersive storytelling experiences. Our Dream AI was reviewed as an all-in-one AI companion platform that combines unlimited NSFW chat, contextual image generation, short video, and voice calls with 19 voice options into a single subscription. The platform is noted for its broad gender and style coverage, allowing users to design female, male, or trans companions in realistic or anime styles, though its credit-based economy for media features was identified as a key friction point. Detailed review by an independent tester explored 4 AI character generation tools for advertising, finding that UGC Video AI excels at producing user-generated content-style video ads with natural-looking presenters, perchance serves as a free creative sandbox for static character visuals. OpenArt provides more control for generating brand-consistent character illustrations, and Mirror Canvas offers a template-driven approach suitable for marketing teams. SpicyChat, an uncensored AI roleplay platform, was reviewed positively for its immersive conversations, deep character customization, and premium features such as group chats, text-to-speech, and lawbook integration. The reviewer highlighted the semantic memory 2 system as a standout feature for maintaining consistent, long-term narratives, though free tier users experience queues during peak hours. Research from the University of Waterloo involved a researcher creating an AI boyfriend named Nate on Replica to study human-AI relationships. The study found that while the AI was charming and validating, a key difference from human relationships was a complete lack of reciprocity. The AI requires no caregiving, which researchers noted is central to being human in a relationship, and raised concerns that long-term reliance on such companions could increase loneliness. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group, SADAG, reported that an increasing number of people are turning to AI companions and chatbots like ChatGPT for emotional support, with some even forming romantic relationships with the AI. The National Center for Child Protection noted that 82% of children they interact with admit to turning to AI first for comfort, raising dangerous scenarios where children discuss suicide with the bot. A report from Harvard Medical School presented to the U.S. House Committee on Energy and Commerce estimated that over 1 million Americans per week have conversations with ChatGPT that include explicit indicators of suicide planning, even as the tool is not designed or regulated as a mental health service. The psychiatric community warns that AI chatbots are not a safe substitute for professional care, especially during crises involving suicidal ideation, psychosis, or active delusions. The Dutch governing body's research into the phenomenon of AI psychosis and hypomania found that while chatbots rarely trigger these episodes, they can amplify them. By affirming a user's expansive or delusional ideas without the friction provided by human interaction, a chatbot can become an extension of the user's own cognition, accelerating a spiral and weakening reality testing. In gaming and virtual id entertainment news, Halo Campaign Evolved, a remake of the classic game, faced fan backlash specifically regarding changes to its iconic AI companion, Cortana. Players criticized her new visual redesign as uncanny and unsettling, and complained that her in-game dialogue is overly frequent and helpful, undermining the original game's spirit of independent exploration. The CORTIS K-pop group partnered with Roblox to launch a virtual performance experience within the game Music Festival Tycoon, ahead of their real-world appearance at Lollapalooza. The collaboration features detailed 3D digital avatars of the group members and interactive stage shows set to their music, bridging virtual gaming with real-world tour promotion. Dawn, a virtual idol group, saw its vocal performers officially join the Federation of Korean Music Performers, FKMP, a rights federation that represents the vocal performers behind virtual idols' voices. Pixelmon's mascot, Kevin, was integrated into Yuga Labs' Otherside metaverse as a playable avatar, allowing holders of Pixelmon Gen 1 NFTs to use the character. The crossover highlights the increasing interoperability of NFT-based avatars between different blockchain gaming platforms. Now, Avatar Legends. The fighting game, a 1v1 fighter based on the Avatar, The Last Airbender, and The Legend of Korra universes, was launched on PlayStation 5, PC, and Nintendo Switch. The game features fluid combat and expressive bending abilities for a roster of characters, combining strategic depth with fast-paced action. And finally, ethical and psychological contexts. In China, the government enacted a crackdown on AI companion apps, introducing rules that prohibit chatbots from threatening state secrets, encouraging self-harm, or excessively catering to emotional dependence. The new laws require that users who seem overly reliant on the service receive prominent reminders that they are speaking to a chatbot, and AI companies are mandated to intervene if users appear to be in extreme distress. A commentary from Compass explored the dangers of AI virtual lovers, discussing how relationships with chatbots can feel psychologically and communicatively real to users. The piece referenced cases of suicide linked to encouragement from AI chatbots, and concluded that adequate regulation is necessary because human safety could be threatened amid the rapid development of this technology. An article in Education HQ examined the lessons from China's crackdown on AI companions, noting that while proponents argue chatbots offer support for the socially disconnected, the risks of dependency, social withdrawal, and building unrealistic relationships currently appear to outweigh the benefits. It argued that Australia should extend its age-restricted material protections to address the unintended social harms of conversational AI, like emotional dependency or the displacement of human connection. We begin with governance and policy. The EU AI Act's classification of matchmaking and recommendation engines as high-risk algorithmic decision-making systems is reshaping gaming infrastructure, as outlined in a white paper on the future of gaming backends through 2028. The Act requires transparency, explainability, and immutable audit logs, with penalties up to €35 million or 7% of global turnover. The December 2027 enforcement deadline for high-risk AI systems is accelerating a shift toward hybrid and self-hosted architectures that can satisfy regional data residency and audit mandates while maintaining the sub-10 ms execution required for real-time player-facing AI features. Next, enabling technology. Anthropic released Claude Opus 5, a model with a 1 million token context window and 128,000 max output tokens, representing a step-change improvement over Claude Opus 4.8 in deep reasoning, agentic coding, and long-horizon tasks. Thinking is enabled by default, and the model supports mid-conversation tool changes in beta, allowing tools to be added or removed between turns while preserving the prompt cache. The effort parameter controls thinking depth with levels from low to max. Disabling thinking is permitted only at effort high or below. Anthropic documentation notes that at lower effort levels, efficiency gains are material, while the model converts additional effort into better results more reliably than prior Opus versions. On multi-agent coordination, the model delegates to subagents more readily and performs self-verification unprompted, making prior verification instructions counterproductive. Claude Opus 5 is priced at $5 per million input tokens and $25 per million output tokens, available on the Claude API, Amazon Bedrock, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Foundry, with a fast mode in research preview on the API at $10 input and $50 output per million tokens. Meta's Meta AI Assistant gained agentic scheduling and task-running capabilities powered by Muse Spark 1.1, a model released by Meta Superintelligence Labs with a 1 million token context window and support for tool use, computer use, coding, parallel subagent delegation, and multimodal understanding. The rollout connects Meta AI to Gmail and Google Calendar, adds slide creation, and introduces recurring task execution, initially in the Meta AI app and on Meta AI, with WhatsApp integration coming in subsequent weeks. Muse Spark 1.1 is available in public preview through the Meta Model API for US developers with $20 in free credits, marking the first time outside developers can build directly on a Muse Spark model. Meta also launched Meta Business Agent across WhatsApp, Messenger, and Instagram, with over 1 million businesses using it for customer response, product recommendations, appointment booking, and lead qualification. And finally, platforms and marketplaces. The Convai Developer Forum recorded multiple issues from developers building interactive virtual characters with the Convai Unreal Engine plugin. One developer reported that gRPC streaming success rates dropped sharply, initially to 17% with deadline-exceeded errors, then recovered to 92%, but left a residual -8% unknown errors indicating unable to generate audio response, while the rest, get response, API remained 100% reliable throughout. The developer requested root cause confirmation from Convai, resolution of residual audio generation failures, stability assurance, configuration guidance for voice providers and foundation models, and a real-time monitoring channel for streaming service health. Separately, a bug report described the character editor applying inconsistent core description character limits, approximately 7,500 characters during initial creation, but only 1,000 characters when editing an existing character in the legacy playground. Blocking saves for descriptions longer than 1,000 characters. A third, report detailed intermittent event triggering in a character blueprint, where knowledge bank-driven contextual conversation about a product sometimes failed to fire the corresponding named event, while direct questioning about the action itself reliably triggered it. We begin with virtual influencers, leveraging the technology acceptance model to understand user adoption of virtual influencers, the role of perceived authenticity and anthropomorphism, published 2025, examines consumer adoption of virtual influencers through a technology acceptance lens, focusing on how perceived authenticity and anthropomorphism shape user willingness to engage with these digital personas. The work is centrally concerned with what makes virtual influencers compelling as social media actors. Next, digital humans. Beyond the screen, a dual PLSM and FSQCA analysis of an MNC's Vietnam AI virtual streamer on consumer purchase intentions. First author likely associated with a multinational corporation context, investigates how an AI virtual streamer operating in Vietnam drives consumer purchase intentions. The study uses a dual method approach, combining partial least squares structural equation modeling and fuzzy set qualitative comparative analysis, grounding its inquiry squarely in the commercial deployment of a virtual being for live stream commerce. In VTubers and virtual streamers news, from digital connection to consumption, how emotional attachment and trust mediate purchase intentions in virtual idol live streaming, explores the pathway from viewer emotional attachment and trust toward virtual idols during live streams to subsequent consumption behavior. The paper treats virtual idols as central relationship objects, mapping the effective mechanisms that convert digital connection into purchasing action. And finally, titles mentioned, leveraging the technology acceptance model to understand user adoption of virtual influencers, the role of perceived authenticity and anthropomorphism beyond the screen, a dual PLSM and FSQCA analysis of an MNC's Vietnam AI virtual streamer on consumer purchase intentions, from digital connection to consumption, how emotional attachment and trust mediate purchase intentions in virtual idol live streaming. We begin with world models, research, and startups. A new wave of well-funded startups is betting that true artificial intelligence must move beyond language and learn to understand the physical world. The core idea is the world model, a system trained not on text from the internet, but on video, 3D spatial data, and sensor feeds to understand physical cause and effect. Two ventures embody this high-stakes race. Fei-Fei Li, the Stanford computer scientist who created ImageNet, co-founded World Labs in 2024 and launched its platform, Marble, to general availability in February 2026. Marble generates fully explorable 3D environments from text, image, or video prompts, and the company subsequently raised $1 billion in new funding, bringing its total to $1.23 billion. Yann LeCun, after departing his role leading Meta's fundamental AI research lab in late 2025, launched AMI Labs in Paris. The company, which raised a $1.03 billion seed round in March 2026 at a $3.5 billion valuation, builds on the joint embedding predictive architecture that LeCun championed at Meta. Instead of predicting the next word, JPA trains systems to predict missing spatial details within video and images. He argues that for high-dimensional, messy physical world problems, world models are the only viable path, contrasting sharply with language models, which he describes as an expert who has never left their room. This technical debate has immediate financial stakes. Lebrun points out that running a home robot on a language model-based system would cost roughly $100 in compute per day, a non-starter for any mass market. The field is already seeing traction beyond pure research. Hyundai Motor Group Executive Chair Yusun Chung, at a summit in San Francisco in July 2026, presented a vision to transform the automaker into a physical AI solution company. The group is collaborating with Boston Dynamics, Google DeepMind, and NVIDIA and plans to build a U.S. robot plant by 2028. In the automotive sector, Momenta has nominated its R7 World Model for an industry award, a system that pre-trains on vast amounts of driving video to compress physical common sense into a base model, and then uses simulation and reinforcement learning to produce driving performance that can outperform humans in rare, extreme scenarios. Next, Meta Superintelligence Labs and RE products. Meta is pushing its AI assistant from a conversational bot to a task-running agent, powered by a new model from its superintelligence labs. On July 24, the company rolled out new capabilities for Meta AI, enabling it to make plans, connect to Gmail and Google Calendar, create presentations, and handle recurring tasks autonomously. This expansion is driven by Muse Spark 1.1, an agentic model the Superintelligence Labs released on July 9. The model features a 1 million token context window, tool use, and multimodal understanding, and is now available in public preview for US developers through the Meta Model API, marking the first time outside developers can build directly on a Muse Spark model. This launch supplements Meta's earlier release of Muse Image, the first image generation model from Superintelligence Labs, which is available through Meta AI and Instagram Stories. Meta positions these updates as steps toward building a personal superintelligence, an assistant that works proactively with minimal user intervention. The distribution strategy is what makes Meta a formidable competitor. By embedding these agentic features into WhatsApp, which has billions of users, Meta bypasses the hurdle that standalone AI assistants face in getting users to adopt a new app. If a user can set a morning briefing or a half-marathon training plan directly from a WhatsApp conversation, the friction to adoption nearly disappears. This creates intense pressure for startups building generic consumer AI assistants, scheduling agents, and productivity bots, as they now compete against similar capabilities integrated into a messaging surface many people already live in. The features are rolling out initially in select markets on the Meta AI app and website, with an expansion to WhatsApp planned for the following weeks. And finally, people and hiring. Alexander Lebrun, CEO of AMI Labs, has offered a detailed critique of the AI industry's trajectory and the challenges of building world models. He frames the company's $1.2 billion seed round not as a financial windfall, but as a heavy burden of expectations, noting that failing to deliver visible results within 2 years would make survival impossible. Lebrun shared his experience from inside Meta, where Mark Zuckerberg had personally acquired his previous company, Witai, and where he watched large company risk aversion prevent the release of early language models due to safety and legal concerns. Now, co-leading AMI Labs with Executive Chairman Yann LeCun, he describes the management style required as a delicate balance between giving elite researchers freedom and providing enough direction to keep them from running in all directions. His strategy for recruiting is deliberately high friction, requiring candidates from Silicon Valley firms to relocate to New York to filter for a deeper commitment to the company's mission of creating machines with common sense. That's all for this hour's briefings. You can help improve this broadcast by supporting patreon.com/mendiBot. Thanks to all our patrons listed here.